Hello and welcome to the best deck, Speedroids. First place niche locals deck profile.
Yeah,
The motto, gotta go fast.
yeah. So if you're like Yuma and you draw this card, then you can't lose. Anyway, I think everybody knows what Speedroid Teratop does, so we're gonna skip it. I wish this card was a 3. I wish it was errated and or banned and placed on the ban list at 3, where it locked you into wind. But unless that happens, this card will always be at 1. Triple Marble Machine. On normal summon, this gives you the same effect as Teratop, which searches any Speedroid monster from your deck. And its Pendulum effect, it's really irrelevant. The best quality about this is it's level 2. Level 2 Speedroids are really rare. And the only down factor for this card is that it's a Pendulum monster, and when it's sent from the field, it goes into the extra deck, which comes up because sometimes you need level 2s in the graveyard, but it is what it is. Next up, the second best Speedroid in the deck, Taketomborg. You special him if you have a Speedroid on the field. You can tribute him to special a tuner, and he has this weird clause where you can only special summon one Taketomborg per turn. I've never seen that on any card, so even if you reborn him, you can't. If you special summon him by his own effect, you can't use Monster Reborn or the Speedroid spell to bring him back, which is really weird. It is what it is. One Rubber Band plane. He's just an extender. He's a level 5. He's okay. I wouldn't play more than this. Next is Double Hound. Hound was okay. I found 3 to be a little bit cloggy because this deck runs 6 normal summons, 3 of the Marble Machine, 2 of these, and 1 you will see later. And sometimes Teratop can be a normal summon if you don't open it and you go into the link. So what this card does is when it's normal summoned, you get to dump a Speedroid card, and while it's in the graveyard, if you can banish it but not the turn it was sent. You return one Speedroid from the graveyard into the deck or extra deck, and then you special summon from the extra deck one Speedroid monster whose level is exactly to the one that you shuffled, but its effects are negated. So basically, you go into your usually you go into your Synchro 3 Corkshoot. Next up, Den and Daiko Duke. He's a level 3 tuner. You have to play 2. You can't play 3 because it clogs. Basically, what you dump this off of Hound, or you summon this off Taketomborg. So while it's in the graveyard, you can banish him, and then you can special summon a tuner from the graveyard or from the hand. So it's really good. And it's once per turn. Triple card Turbo. You can special summon this to the field if you control another wind. It locks you into a wind, and it's a tuner. So this plus another card is a 1-card Barone on 3rd summon, so that's fine. And you can banish this from the graveyard and another wind monster to boost every one of your wind guys by 800 until the end of the turn. So it sometimes pushes for game. 1 dice, you have to play 1. It's a brick when you draw it, but if you have a way to discard it and bring it back to the graveyard, it's fine. But usually you want to get this off of your spell. So it has the effect to modulate another Speedroid to a level between 1 and 6. So it's usually a card that allows you to go into your Synchro 3. One of these guys, honestly, if you're not going into Den Daiko Duke or you have access to it, you're probably getting this off of your Taketomborg because it doesn't negate its effects. And when it's summoned, you get to excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of other wind monsters, and then you can add one of those cards to the hand. So it's really good. It allows you to plus, and its second effect doesn't come up where you get to banish him and then reduce a Speedroid level by 2. So mostly because of its first effect as it's used. One of the Mecha Phantom is Stellarwolf. This is basically your 1-card link, and that's all its use up. So this is your 6th normal summon. Red-haired Hasty Horse. Yeah, you have to play this card. In this build, I would recommend bumping this up to 2. Its stats are important because it has 1800 for defense and it's wind. This comes up for Small World, which you will see later. So play this too. If you don't have Barone, don't play this. I made the mistake of not playing Barone because I couldn't. So every time I sided this card out, but if you have Barone, you play this card at 2 because this plus your card turbo is a 2-card Barone on 3rd summon. So I sided this out every game, and don't be better like me. Next up, 3 Ash. So just a generic hand trap. This allows you to reveal this with Small World, banish the red-haired Hasty Horse, and then since it's wind, you get to add a Terratop to your hand. Mostly because of that. And Nib, because it's Nib, you have to play it. Unusually enough, it has 600 defense, and guess what? So does this guy. So you get to... I made another mistake where I didn't play Ghost Ogre, so if you have, I don't know, Ghost Ogre and this, you get to reveal Nib, send Ghost Ogre from your deck, it's a level 3, so you can add Terratop. So play Ghost Ogre and Nib in the deck, at least one. This is a Monster Reborn, Speed Recovery, just Monster Reborn. Its second effect is you can banish this from the graveyard, but not the turn it's sent, to add a Speedroid monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it's like a Monster Reborn plus a Warrior Returning Alive for Speedroid, so it's really good. And it's not once per turn. Probably the best starter in the deck, which is Speedroid Wheel. When it goes off, it goes off. So you discard a card from your hand and you roll a 6-sided die. And based on the result, you get to special summon up to 2 Speedroids from your deck, and if you can't summon any, you take 500, which never happens. So usually you want to have the result of 4, 3, or 5. 6 is kind of awkward, and 2 and 1 are also bad, because you on 2 and 1 you only get one outcome. But 6 is unusually awkward because you either go into a 2 and a 4, which one of the monsters goes into the extra deck because the only 2 is a Pendulum monster, so for that reason it's awkward. And the monsters you summon are negated. 1 Cold Buy because it's Cold Buy, Small World because you need Terratop to win games. This card helps you get to Terratop. Whenever I saw this I was happy, so really good card. Triple Imperm because it's Imperm. It allows you to play the game, and it's a good hand trap. And the trap, so this is basically a compulse. It says when it's activated, you get to banish a wind from your graveyard and then target 1 card on your opponent's side of the field and you bounce it back. And it has a second effect, which is once per duel, where you get to banish this card, reduce a Speedroid's level by 1, and then you get to special summon a token, which is a tuner. So it's really good. You can dump this to the graveyard with your Hound. So I wouldn't play 1 because sometimes you dump and you need the second one, which is a really good form of disruption which you can search. So you can search it with the Synchro Monster. As for the extra deck, double Rubber Band Shredder, don't play any less than 2. The second one comes up almost every game. So this card allows you to normal summon twice per turn for a Speedroid, and it locks you into a Wind Synchro. This is okay because every other card in the extra deck is also Wind and Synchro. And the second effect is it allows you to send us a tuner, a Synchro monster to the graveyard, and then you get to send 2 monsters. One is either added to the hand and the other is dumped into the graveyard. Cork Shooter, it's a Synchro tuner. On summon, it allows you to either add a Speedroid spell or trap, or to summon its Synchro materials back. This allows you to make either Barone or a Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dam. High Speedroid Puzzle, you make this to make your recovery plays better. You get to summon this with this easily, so it's okay. It's a level 4 that allows you to extend. Trambara, because it's level 5, sometimes you banish it for the Cork, and it sometimes pushes for game. Hagoita, this is mainly used for the Crystal Wing plays, for the double Crystal Wing plays, so this deck doesn't play into Nibiru that often. So when you have a tuner and this is in your graveyard, you get to special summon this off. It's really good. 1 Charge Warrior because it's a good 6. 1 Juju because it sometimes clears some things that you can't otherwise clear. It's a good card. Clearing Fast Dragon, we're only playing this because we need to make this card. Otherwise, don't play this, play Barone or the Epic Nister monster. A double Crystal Wing because this deck can make double Crystal Wing with 2 cards. 1 High Speedroid Kite Drake. This is either a Black Rose, except it doesn't pop itself, or it negates your opponent's every card on your opponent's side of the field, face up. and when it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get to search your deck for any wind, so you need to play this at 1. 1 Shenshin, because Shenshin, you can make it, and the 1 Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. If you have Barone, don't play this card because this card is really hard to summon, but once it's summoned, it's really hard to get off the field, but it's a good card nonetheless. As for the side deck needs work. I never saw my side deck, only maybe 1 card. So double Gadarla. This is for the pesky decks that summon an unaffected monster, and it can be used also in conjunction with the Small World. Triple Lightning Storm, never saw it. I only played it for the back row decks. Same reason for Twin Twisters for the back row decks, never saw it. Double D Barrier and Triple Gravity Collapse. These basically do the same thing, which is when you go first, you want to lock somebody off summoning. I never saw any of these. I sided all 5 in my matches against Despia. I never saw them, so I managed to win, but it was bullshit. And yeah, the triple goes and your entire deck is wind, so you can play wind. My matchups, round 1, I lost pretty convincingly to Branded Despia. Round 2, I got a bye. Round 3, I drew with Marincess. We went into time for game 3. I was sad, but we needed to explain our cards to each other, so that's why it took so long. Round 4, I won the die roll against Drytron, and that's the only reason I was able to win that game. Semifinals, it was against the same Branded Despia deck. I was in round 1, and I managed to win 2-0. And the finals was against the Marincess player, which I also won 2-1. And yeah, those are the matchups, and that's the deck list. Thank you.